Hello, my friends. Your buddy Phil here, project management trainer and coach. Welcome to our little corner here in our Project Leadership Institute, where we answer questions that our bosses send in. And one of our bosses, Cyndi, sent in some questions that are pretty much based on a meeting we had earlier. PMI and the PMP exam, past, present, and future. So we're going to answer Cyndi's question. And the very first question is, how will consultants view PMP post 2020? How will they view PMP post 2020? It really depends. It depends on which consultant it is, how much information they have, how much insight they have into the PMP. It might amaze you, but a lot of people will continue with the mindset seeing PMI as the pinnacle in project management certification. No matter what you do for the next 5, 10 years, they will still see PMP like that. But those closer to the industry might see the PMP exam as needing some adjustments if they're close to industry, right? If they're close to industry and they see the overwhelming amount of feedback about agile being hyped up and it being almost like an HR patent test, then they're going to see it as maybe lacking. And what some agencies or jobs might end up doing is asking you to prove what you know, like actually demonstrate. Like during the meeting today, we talked about earned value management being very important. Now, imagine going to a firm where they believe in earned value, they believe it's the holy grail. Well, they're going to find out how much of this stuff do you know. In fact, I didn't get a job because of my PMP alone. And I'm talking about my job at Honeywell. My job with Honeywell, I got it because I was PMP, but PMP plus earned value management aware and capable. So it really depends on who you're talking to, Cyndi. You see what I'm saying? Some consultants for the next 10 years are going to have that hardwired PMPs, the gold standard, that's it. But other agencies and other firms, they're going to say, no, PMP. And to that end, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but there was some discussion on one of PMI's webinars about the possibility of having a PMP pre 2020 plus. So they are thinking, or in that webinar, there was some discussion about having a PMP cut over plus type of, I don't know whether it's a certification or whether it's training or whatever it is, but it's meant to bring PMPs from the past up to the level of 2020, which is, I don't know what PMI is thinking in that realm or regard. I don't know, but it should be probably more, in my mind, it should be probably tailored towards more PDUs. So if I was PMI, I would say, all right, part of your PDUs, since agile is so big and important, I would say part of your PDUs need to be agile centered if you're PMP. So instead of uh, instead of leadership, technical and strategic, I would say within that strategic or leadership or people, half of it must be agile or a third of it must be agile. Now, I hope I'm not giving them bad ideas because I know some people are going to grow. No, I don't want to do agile. Well, if that's the case, it is what it is. Okay. And sorry for any background noise that you hear. I'm poolside here, just enjoying the weather. So if you hear birds in the background, don't be alarmed. All right. So that's my take on the first one, Cyndi. And I believe we're going to get some more feedbacks from our buddies, Mark and Susan, on this. I'll share that when I get it. The next one is, do you all recommend that we supplement our learning with strategic project management and change management and Lean Six Sigma Black Belt to demonstrate knowledge since current PMP may be less valuable? Great question, Cyndi. Now let's take these one by one. I am going to use the highlighter tool to highlight some of these great points that you've raised. All right. So let's talk about strategic project management, first of all. When you talk about strategic project management, the PMI, or I should say the PMP exam, has never been huge on strategic project management. Now, in terms of PDUs, yes, they are big in strategic business management. So it's already then your PDUs to meet this need every 3 years with a demonstration of it. You get what I mean? And I think it's 888 across the board. So you should have gone through at least 8 hours of strategic project management. And when we talk about change management, this is very different. Change management is far reaching. We could be talking about organizational change, and PMI has a standard managing change in organizations, right? So we have that. And Cindy, by the way, one of the ingredients in our PLI, Project Leadership Institute, is actually to discuss change management. So let me take you down memory lane. Change management is one of the modules in our Project Leadership Institute training. So just hold tight, and in the next few months, we are going to be covering the change management section. It's a very content-rich course and program. All right. So as far as strategic project management, that's covered. Change management, it's covered in PMI's standard, and I would recommend any PM read the PMI standards. They've invested good money in it, and it's definitely something that you should do. All right. So change management, managing change in organizations, huge, highly recommended. The next one that you've listed out here is Lean Six Sigma Black Belt, and I'll just say Six Sigma, very similar in the way I look at agile. I look at Six Sigma as a way of thinking, a consciousness. Are there a lot of tools? Yes. But the overarching consciousness is cut out the fat, cut out the fat, cut out the fat. That's it. And in addition to that, be productive, be efficient, and don't do busy work. That's the mindset and the mantra. There are many ways to do that. So, for those folks who want to go a step further and learn Lean Six Sigma Black Belt, or just Six Sigma in general, absolutely. In fact, Michael Harry, rest his soul, is one of the co-creators of Six Sigma, and he was very kind to give me access to his learning system where I learned a ton of stuff on top of what I already knew from Honeywell. So I'd say if you're thinking about Six Sigma, it's not a bad idea, and I'm going to find out from Sandra, his wife, Sandy, his wife, what they have available on their Six Sigma portal, because maybe that's something you want to look at, Cindy. So do remind me to contact Sandy and find out what they have on their site, because the way they approach Six Sigma is a way of life, and I really love the way they approach Six Sigma from Dr. Harry's perspective. So remind me, Cindy. Maybe what I'll do is I'll link you up to that site during one of our PLI meetings. Just remind me. All right. So yeah, highly, highly, highly recommend getting into that mindset and awareness. Um, both to demonstrate knowledge and also to be able to add value to whichever company you find yourself in. All right, what is the emerging organization for project management? Great question. Is there an international version? Well, it was supposed to be PMI, right? It is supposed to be PMI as far as you know, one of the torch bearers, early torch bearers. And let's hope they retain that position and, they correct themselves, realign themselves, and get back on track, because we need an organization like that. Simple, transparent, easy, not the babble that we're seeing coming up in the seventh edition, not that stuff, but to be tried and true, focused, not to forget their roots, and to bring in greater consciousness, like from agile thinking and stuff. Not looking for revenues alone. Revenues are good, but that shouldn't be our focus, right? We should be thinking about value to the people. So the emerging organization for project management, I would say, hopefully, still PMI, and there are lots of other organizations. I want to go into all their names because I'm really hoping that PMI is able to bounce back around. But when you talk about the wider domain of project management in Agile, of course, Agile Alliance, Scrum Alliance, those ones are out there, and there are many others. There are many other private ones, but PMI was by far the most dominant with over 1 million PMPs. All right, so where does Prince 2 sit? Prince 2 is just a certification, it's not a body. It's actually tied quite tightly to the UK government, OGC. So, as far as Prince 2, it's good. It's a good one to know, but it's a methodology different from what the PMBOK Guide 6th edition is, which is a framework. So, if you ask me, I would say I prefer the PMBOK Guide 6th edition. And as far as the future, I wouldn't worry about putting your best foot forward and showing value and awareness and cognizance and comprehension and understanding of project management, very wide, because I know you're a strategic person, Cindy. So I don't have any hang-ups or concerns regarding how great you're going to do out there. You're going to wow them. You're going to blow the lid off. You're very well versed. You're very aware of your industry. Very aware of healthcare. So I'm not worried about that. But for those folks who feel they, or who may not really know stuff as much as they should, I would say maybe these points are good memory joggers, good reminders that don't rest on your laurels as a PMP. Go to the next level. Be very aware of agile and scrum and change management. And even if you got a yellow belt in Six Sigma, it's still valuable. Even if you did a mini Six Sigma course, it is still valuable because you got to know how these things work. All right. I hope this helps, Cyndi. Thank you very much. And I'll speak to you in our next meeting. Bye for now.